Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dark Asylum Podcast, the only podcast you need to listen to for your entertainment news. I mean, sort of. Now it's just becoming slowly into a variety show. I am the one, the only, the chosen one, Zach Winters, and with me, as always, is my plump, golden brown, juicy Darkness.
How's it going, everybody?
It is Thanksgiving weekend. Sorry, Big Vicious could not make it, unfortunately, due to a family emergency. Just know I know you're listening, and I hope everything turns out all right, Big V.
He gave us his blessing to go on without him, but
Yeah.
so now we can just relentlessly talk shit on it. We don't have to listen to him.
Oh, it'll be great for you because you don't have to edit all of his racist stuff.
Yeah, so anybody out there who was looking forward to hearing him cough and wheeze into the microphone for 2 hours, I'll splice a little bit in there if you want. So
all the background noise from the homeless shelter.
yeah, the soup kitchen. Yeah, but so I hope things go well for you, V. We'll see you hopefully next time.
Isn't the soup kitchen when a bunch of homeless people get together and bang in a Prius?
Yeah. It was found trying to vote for Ralph Nader. See, we got that synergy. We know exactly. You throw it down, I'll pick it up and run with it.
Exactly.
I remember, gold. Was it Reno 911? They called it Circling the Wagons. Do you remember that episode?
I do now.
Fucking, well, I forget his name. Was it Junior or Martinez? I forget what it was.
Garcia was the older guy.
Oh, no, it was the younger one.
The younger one with the glasses was Junior.
Junior, yeah. He's sitting there talking to all the kids. He was taking them on the tour of the prison, the jail. He's like, yeah, what they do, they take all the bunks and we call it circling the wagons. And that's when they go in there and they start doing, yeah, I love that show.
They found the weak guy and then, they bent his arms back and tit-fucked his shoulder blades.
Yeah, Reno 911. That was
I've learned enough about, like I got my degree in criminal justice, and I've learned enough about that line of work that I am 110% certain that those are like either stories that they were told or those are like cutting room floor things for the show Cops, and they just picked it up and like, hey, let's make a skit out of it and make everybody think it's fake. No, that shit happens sometimes.
Oh yeah, I've worked in the security field for fucking ever. And
yeah,
they always tell me, like, why don't you go to work in the prison? I'm like, fuck you. How about I don't? I don't want to be trapped in there with all the fucking people that, are assholes. There's no way.
See, that's what I was going to do. But, yeah, it wasn't a great experience for me. So,
yeah. Corrections, man, those guys have it worse than regular police officers sometimes. Because, like I said, they're stuck in there with people. And all those people have to do all day long is fucking plot.
Just think of ways to fuck with you.
Yeah. No thanks, man.
Oh, man.
I got a friend that works in a juvenile correctional facility. And some of the stories that he comes up with, man, Jesus.
I think... I'll work at an adult correctional facility. I straight won't go to a juvenile because one, you can't hit them back, and two, they're all like little fuckers.
Yeah.
I have a friend who she was in juvenile corrections, and like one little fuckers picked up an electric guitar and hit her in the head with it, and now like she gets blinding headaches and her left arm doesn't work right.
Good God, man. And it's one of those things, man. They already have that mentality at that young of an age. Plus, they have the whole mentality of they're never gonna die, like a regular teenager. So combine those two things and plus some fucking toilet vodka, and you're screwed, man. You're done. It's not that they're bigger than you. In some cases, they are. They got the numbers.
Oh yeah.
6-year-olds aren't a threat until they start teaming up, But
how many 6-year-olds do you think you could fight before getting taken down?
Jeez, as soon as it hit double digits, I'm sure I'd be done. I'd be punting them like fucking footballs up until that.
Yeah, it's just like that part where I know you're gonna give me shit, but it's like that part in Game of Thrones where they just pull down the high septum, just start ripping limbs off of them.
Oh, yeah. Good God. So, yeah. I don't know how we segued straight into fucking corrections, but here we go. So, fucking insane, man. So, how was your week? You do anything worthwhile?
Oh, so Oregon's still in lockdown, and I haven't been working, so I've just been sitting at home getting fat again. All the progress I made, I'm pretty sure I've lost that. Um, it took me 2 days, and I put together a big ass fucking the '89 Batwing Lego set.
Yeah. I didn't know they had an 89 version. I mean, I know
Oh
the
yeah,
89 Batwing, but I didn't know they put out a Lego version of it.
oh yeah, and
Does
I
it
already got
come
the
with
Batmobile, so
Does it come with a tinfoil front that a single bullet from a long gun could take down after it shoots all these missiles and machine guns and misses?
see. My thing about that part is how the hell was he dancing around and doing all that shit when he clearly struggled to pull out that fucking long ass magnum out of his pants?
Yeah, there's a lot of. I love that fucking. I love it. That is my
Oh
favorite
yeah, oh yeah,
Batman. But yeah, I mean I liked it because that was a very distinct element of the Joker that we haven't really seen like since then. The joke kind of, like the prank stuff, like the chattering
yeah.
teeth, the acid flower, the gun in the pant, all that stuff. Every
Well,
iteration of the Joker since then is like kind of lost that.
ever since fucking Heath Ledger did it, everybody thinks he has to be all weird and dark and edgy.
Yeah.
And like the cartoon Joker was pretty. Mark Hamill Joker is pretty pranky and goofy at times, but like ever since Heath Ledger came out, it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, besides the pencil trick, which was very Joker. I mean,
Well,
you
yeah,
really haven't, I mean, we won't even get started on what's his ass. It's 30 Seconds to Mars.
Jared
Uh,
Leto.
yeah, Jared Leto. But yeah, that was just, yeah. I'm sorry.
That
We
one was
won't talk about
bad.
that.
Do you know he has? Do you know he started a cult?
No, it doesn't surprise me though. I mean,
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a weird sex cult around him, but I've heard he's like just like retreated to an island somewhere with a bunch of followers, and now he's got long hair and a big old Jesus beard.
yeah, I could see that. I mean,
Like I read a
it's
news
a
story
little out
about where
there.
like yeah, I read a news story about how he came back and he's just like, oh, why is everybody freaking out about this virus thing?
I remember reading
What's happening?
stories right when Suicide Squad was coming out, like the weird shit that he did to his co-stars, and he sent like used condoms and like just weird,
Yeah,
stupid shit like that.
that's
Like,
so like,
eh,
oh, because he was channeling the Joker. What the fuck ever.
yeah. I mean, I almost feel more for Heath Ledger because he fucking went and locked himself in a hotel for like a month and came out like that. It
And he
was,
didn't fucking send people pig asses or whatever the hell.
yeah, all the weird shit I mean, that's just Jared Leto being the Joker though. So,
Oh, he's channeling the Joker. Fuck you.
oh man. All right,
It's
so
like
we. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
no, I hate this whole method acting thing where like, oh, I'm channeling the character. No, you're not. You're being an asshole. Like, do you ever see Jim and Andy?
No. What is that one?
Oh, I highly recommend that. It's on Netflix. It's the documentary behind Man on the Moon, where Jim Carrey
Oh,
played Andy Kaufman.
okay. I have heard of that. I remember. Yeah, Jim Carrey did some crazy shit too. Like
Yeah.
he tried to beat the shit out of Jerry Lawler, and Lawler's like, "What the fuck is your problem, man?"
Well, yeah, it's usually like him like throwing shit at Lawler, like antagonizing him and shit. And there's a spot in the documentary where Lawler gets him in a sleeper, and then you could tell like Jim Carrey's like done playing because
Shit got real.
yeah, shit got real. Even at that point, like Lawler's a big guy, and he knows what he's doing. Like everybody gives him shit about his wrestling, but he knows what he's doing. And if he gets you in a big hold like that, then it's not gonna be pleasant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can see Lawler just losing his fucking cool about it because, especially at the time where he was still kind of in between WWE stuff and he wasn't really doing commentary and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I could see him
Well,
just kind of losing it. And they had that shit with
well,
him and the cat and everything else going on.
yeah.
I'm a super nerd and I
uh,
read his autobiography, but,
my favorite story to come out of that was there's the infamous time where Andy Kaufman cussed out uh, Lawler on Letterman.
hmm
Did you ever see that clip?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they went at it
So
and
they
he threw the coffee and all that.
so they reenacted it, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and like Jim can take it. Just slap him. It's okay." And Lawler was like, "I took everything. I think I hit him harder than I hit Andy, and because he just fucking just turns out and fucking pow." And that is just months of
Oh, man. Fuck it. Yeah, it all comes to a head and it all builds, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck this guy.
take this motherfucker's head off.
Yeah. Jeez. So this week, I've got a few things written down that I wanted to go over. I mean, some we
Okay.
can just glaze over, some. But my biggest thing this week, I know it's wrestling and we don't talk wrestling, but it's a big deal. But
Actually, like, put a pin in that because I've been watching a lot of old school wrestling, and I'm down to talk about wrestling. Fuck it.
all right. Well, without V here, talk about
Yeah.
because we got nothing else. We can't pick on him. So, um,
The show goes
well,
downhill without him as a punching bag.
it's like we're just gonna both start self-abusing ourselves on
Oh,
here.
fuck.
The other thing that's taken up my whole week, as much of it that hasn't been taken up by work, Ready Player 2 came out.
Yeah, I'm like super salty about that because I pre-ordered my copy and I still haven't gotten it.
Yeah, I mean it's very rare for me to get excited for a book anymore because books are, they'll always be there. You pick up a
Hmm.
hard copy, you can get to it whenever. And I've neglected gone back to it later and but this one I was genuinely excited about and I'm about halfway through it. It came out yesterday. So I got off work, just opened it up, started going through it. Um, yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything because I know you haven't read or anything, but I'm enjoying it very much so far. And we very rarely
Would you
talk about
say
books, so
would you say as good or better than the first so far?
so far I'd say it's pretty much on par with the first one.
Okay, because the
Being
first one's excellent.
Yeah, I like the first one. I don't know why I read it. It was before they ever announced a movie or anything like that. It was like
Hmm.
it had just, I think, gone from hardcover to paperback, or it was like that in between where it's like the big ass book but just doesn't have a hardcover.
Yeah.
But I had read it on a Kindle. I might have read it on a website or something like that, and people talked about it. And yeah, I loved it. And years
Yeah.
later, they announced the movie, and then other people I knew started picking it up and reading it, so I was able to talk to them, and it was weird. It was like this little cult phenomenon book. It just kind of picked up and then got huge. And to be honest, I was just going through Amazon getting Christmas presents for people lined up, and it said Ready Player 2 drops. I was like, wait, what? I didn't even know about it. So, but
See,
yeah.
that's probably where I messed up. You ordered through Amazon. I got it through Powell's.
Oh, well, how are they doing with PAL? They shipping with PALs or 'cause I remember
Yeah, I've gotten tons of shit through Powell's.
yeah, well, I mean, I worked at the airport and they have a little PALs in the airport, so whenever you'd order something, you could have them send it to that location, you just go pick it up. But
Hmm.
I mean, with the COVID and everything going on right now, I don't know how
So
things are.
the big store is only opened up like four, maybe five rooms, I think.
hmm
But most of the other stores are closed down still.
Yeah. Yeah, there was what's that street out here? I don't remember. So there's the big one, and then I want to say Highlands. That's not right though. But there's a
Oh,
store
for
by
the
that.
everybody listening, by the way, Powell's is a gigantic bookstore located in Portland.
Yeah. Uh,
We should probably explain that before we start going on.
I mean, people who come to Portland, it's one of those things that
It's
it's a place to go. It's like
it's
a
definitely a bigger tourist spot than I expected.
yeah. There you got Voodoo Donuts and you got Powell's, and they're within walking distance if you're spry.
Yeah, but like honestly, kind of fuck Voodoo Donuts.
Yeah, I mean, I love Voodoo Donuts, but it's gotten to
I've
the
kind of
point
boycotted
where
them.
oh really? It's weird
Yeah.
because you find out a lot of these local places like how they treat employees. Like
Mm-hmm.
I heard somewhere that they don't get paid by the hour; they get paid on commission. So
Fuck that.
you go in there and they're trying to rush your ass through the line, and you get your kid or something with you. Just get the donut and get the fuck out. I need my money, you know. So that doesn't really breed customer service oriented people as well as you
No,
would think. But yeah, I mean, Voodoo's one of
like,
those bigger places that people come to.
and what the owner is just a huge prick, I guess.
I'd heard that too. I've never had
Well,
any
obviously,
experiences, but you know.
I get when we first got in the lockdown in March, all their employees stopped working, and he just fired them all and hired on a new staff because
Jeez.
they were wanting some sort of help, some sort of compensation, and they're all protesting Voodoo Donuts. He's like, all right, well, you're all fired, and now I'll hire new people.
I remember that. I had a sister-in-law visiting, and she just wanted her donuts right past the picket line. Like the restaurants are like, "What the hell are you doing? You don't cross a picket line. I just want donuts." All right, well, Jesus. So, yeah, I remember that now that you mention it. But a little
Mm-hmm.
local politics for all you people in Lithuania and everywhere else listening.
Right? Germany, all over the world.
Oh, you have donuts? Oh, how nice.
What is donut?
But yeah, so pals. I mean, that's like I like the one that's in the little dead mall that's maybe a half hour away from the big one, and it's just a
Oh, I do remember that.
yeah, I
I've been
like
there
that one.
once.
It's good. It's cool
And
because
then,
they have a bunch
yeah,
of
when you
old
say
used
dead mall,
shit.
it's
Oh yeah, there's like an old vintage video game store, and then that Pal's location, and I think a Jamba Juice, and that's fucking it.
I think that's what drove it because I was just looking up like I always love going to new video game spots,
Hmm.
and I was like, hey, there's one here, and then I get there, I was like, holy shit, there's a Pals here, and then I remember like the Pals being kind of not that great.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones if you're not wanting to go to the way densely populated one that's the tourist attraction and still get kind of good books, you go to that one and you're okay because not a lot of people know about. I mean, visitors and stuff don't know about that one,
Hmm.
so I like to go out there. But anyway, so yeah, like I was saying, man, Ready Player Two. We very rarely talk about novels that come out, but this one pretty much falls right in our wheelhouse.
Fuck yeah.
So uh, I don't know if we could put that out there for a book club read or not. We'll just discuss it when you're done
The
reading it.
I was gonna say the book club reads are gonna be a little bit longer because it takes me a while to finish books.
Yeah, I it takes me forever
It
books most of the time, but this one, like I said, I'm halfway through it already, and it's only been a day, only maybe half a
nice,
day from reading. So
nice.
yeah, it's great, man. I like it a lot so far. So look forward to that. I hope it shows up soon. Probably not tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving, but you know.
Oh, I keep forgetting it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this episode's gonna drop on Black Friday, so if the listenership's down a little, no, you know,
No,
understand
you could.
you're wrestling over things at Walmart.
I usually like to go just to check it out. I've never seen a fight, but this year I just said fuck it, and did all. My Christmas shopping's done. It's all Etsy, Amazon, all that shit.
Oh yeah, I'm big time Amazon now. My parents and sister have wish lists up there. My wife, it's just I'm like, hey, don't look at any of the boxes that come in my name. That's about it.
That's kind of
Yeah.
don't fuck with
Oh,
my boxes.
the thing though, I mean, this goes into another thing I want to talk about. The fucking PS5 thefts going on out there. Have you heard about any of these? Like the
No.
FedEx drivers and UPS
Oh yeah, that
drivers?
happened. Oh, where was that? That was in Sherwood, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's happening locally. It's happening in Europe. It's everywhere. Like they'll a delivery driver, and I'm not saying all of them, but delivery drivers are being real shady about. I mean, because it's listed right on the box, like ridiculous. Oh,
Yeah.
PS5. So they go, they stop in front of a house, or they've even had like the those recordable doorbell cameras. They have
Mm-hmm.
footage of the guy walking up, popping it on the porch, taking a picture, grabbing it, and walking back out to his damn truck.
What a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, so yeah, if you guys are ordering PS5s through the mail, keep an eye out for that because they're doing some shady stuff out there. They've found like storage units full of PS5s that people are selling for
Thousands.
$1,300. Yeah, it's oh my God. You got
Like,
yours all nice and safe at home.
mine is nice, safe. I'm not telling anybody where it's at, nice and safe, but it is in my house, and I own a lot of axes and guns.
Yeah. I mean, once you get it to the house, you're pretty safe. It's just, I mean, you did the right thing, right? Because you pre-ordered it and you went to the store
Yep.
and picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's the way to do it, man. It's a crazy
I didn't
season
even
right
like.
now.
I couldn't even pre-order it. A friend of mine, I had to pre-order it through her,
Oh,
and
wow.
then yeah,
That's nuts. I mean, I hate how they do this every time a new console drops. It's right before the holiday
it
and they
like
just
you
destroy
think
it.
you think like ever since like the PlayStation 3 came out, like they kind of just like over. You think they'd overproduce everything, but they never fucking do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
like the
then you get these
second they
shithead scalpers
yeah,
selling them for $1,300.
they use bot programs to buy them up everywhere. What the
Fucking fucking scum of the earth. Did I rant on scalpers already?
Yeah, yeah, I think that was an episode or
Yeah.
two back.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck you if you do that.
It's ridiculous what people are coming up with nowadays. I mean, if anything is a store exclusive, it's gone. You cannot get
Yep.
it. Like we were talking about, like Funko Pops that are exclusive Target. It's gone. It's
Yep.
gone. It's ridiculous. So you try to go to a store and the shelves are bare and everything else. You ask somebody and they just laugh at you. Like, can you look in the back? And yeah, it doesn't work anymore. But fucking scalpers out there. So keep your PS5 safe because man, just keep an eye on your
That
porch. It's
fuck.
insane. They
Did I ever
got
tell
thing.
you?
Oh, good.
Did I ever tell you when the PS3 came out and some dude? I waited in line for like a night and a day, and it was getting towards like the last couple hours, and this dude gave me like, well, I was being paid to be there first.
Hmm.
The dude was gonna give me like $300 to get one for him. And then another guy came and he was like, "Hey, I know you're all getting the PS3. I'm offering money to anybody who wants it." And I said, "How much?" And he told me 500, and I'm like, "Nah, not really gonna do that." And then I got him up to 800, and I gave him my spot in line.
That's
I called the first guy. I was like, because I was like fucking, well, I was like 15, 16.
yeah.
I called the first guy up, and I was like, "Hey, this guy's offering me $800 for my spot in line. Are you gonna do anything?" No, but we had an agreement. Well, money talks.
And wonderful Zach was born.
Yeah.
I worked at Best Buy when the PS3 came out, and there was people that like for the whole I don't know 3 or 4 days prior to Black Friday were camping out in front of the store,
Yep.
and I would go in, I'd work my shift, I'd walk out, I just damn man and there it was funny because I knew how many units we actually had, and we were like sworn to secrecy to not say anything to anybody, but we only had like I think 10 or 12 that came to the store, and there
Jesus.
was a line of at least 50 people on Black Friday, and I was just like, man, I didn't have to work Black Friday, so thank God for that. But
Did you guys get the tickets that say come back here and then give us this when we get them in?
now from my coworker, he told me that he had to wait at the door and let person in one at a time. Go in, go to the counter, get the PS3, and then they literally waited for that person to leave the store, called in the next person, and they did. Yeah, and you're only allowed to buy one, and we put all these
Yep.
restrictions on it and stuff like that. So, yeah, how fucked would that be? The first person in line is like, yeah, give me all 12 of them. It's like, jeez. And then everyone else in line is just, oh, they're just pissed.
Watch that person get fucked up. That's what happened.
Yeah, you see him going out with all those flatbed carts,
Yep.
putting 20, 12 or 20 or whatever, however many PlayStations in his car. Oh, he's gonna get stabbed in the parking lot.
Like it's a fucking toy, people. It'll be there sooner or later.
Yeah, it's I there's nothing out on either system right now that I need to play. I am really jazzed and stoked for Cyberpunk, which is a whole
Yep.
other story, because I guess that's leaking already, and there's people that already have it. But
Yep.
Cyberpunk, yes, I'm excited to play that. I'm ready to go for that. But I can get it on my PS1 or my Xbox One, and no big deal. I can wait for the system to come out and the mania to die down. So I'm okay with that. I can wait for
I mean,
Spider-Man. That's fine. Spider-Man's coming out on PS4 anyway, so
mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm okay. I don't need to
Demon Souls is
dive
really
into
good
it.
though.
Wait, what is it? A remaster?
Yeah,
So
I think. Actually, no, it's a remake. Actually,
Oh, it's a remake.
it's a remake because
Yeah.
it's all glossy and pretty now.
Ooh. I don't think I have a TV that could handle the graphics that those things are pushing out now anyway. I'm running,
Are you
I
still
think it's
running on the?
a plasma on my wall. The gas is
Let's say
about to give out.
the old fucking CRT TVs.
Oh, I had one of those. The last TV that I bought myself before I was married and everything like that was a 48-inch tube TV. And I was actually
Jesus.
working at Best Buy. This is right around the PS3 era. Um, it was the floor model, and it was on sale. And I was just like, yes, this is the biggest you could get a tube TV. It was like $400 or $500, and I'm like, yes. I
Except for those
fucking
big screens that cost like, or that weighed like 500 or 600 pounds.
no, yeah, yeah. But I don't know, man. Those old video game systems still look better on those than they do when I try to hook up my Nintendo to a flat screen. I don't. It doesn't look
Jesus.
right. Seriously, man.
Well, it's all fuzzy and shit.
Yeah, you lose a lot of the. I remember I was playing uh, Nintendo 64, and it was WCW or one of those, and it just looks terrible on a projection
Hmm.
or on a flat screen TV now. So it kind of dies out. Those games are still classic. They just don't look very good.
Just go to hit up Goodwill, find a big old box tube TV.
Yeah, I mean
You'll be
they
fine.
still look better on there. You got the coaxial. You had to screw the back into.
Jesus.
Yeah, good times.
Your arm gets tired because you've been screwing it in for the wrong way for the past 10 minutes.
It won't catch, and you're just sitting there for like 20 minutes trying to.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Did the screw ever fall in for yours?
No, it never fell in, but I bent and broke the wire once on one of them,
Jesus.
and I was like, no, I couldn't get in the back of the TV anymore, and like I couldn't figure out what to do. I finally took a pair of pliers and I clipped it, and then I was able
Mm.
to strip the wire and it worked, but it didn't have the screw on, so it was just this bare coaxial wire sticking in the
As long
back of
as
the
nobody
fucking
walks by
TV.
it.
Yeah, don't walk by the TV. Yeah, it would bounce that thing out of there like nothing. And I tried to like fashion it into a little hook so it would stay in there. Nah, that shit didn't work. But yeah, now
See,
it's all
my
HDMI.
yeah, the bit that you screw on that goes to the TV. Uh, my old TV, it like fell into the TV, and I
Uh,
was able to get it out, but screwing everything back in was basically a 2-man job.
you hold this while I go around it.
Yep. Take these
Shit.
pliers, hold this right here, and I got to screw this in.
Yeah. Fuck that, man. These kids today, they have no idea how easy it is. They have no idea what we went through. Lazy bastards.
Welcome to the old men yelling at a cloud podcast.
Stop following me, son of a bitch.
Back in my day,
Eh, It's like the fucking Grandpa Simpson and his buddy. Oh yeah, I remember that. that are in Waldorf. Yeah.
That's a paddling.
That there you go. Damn, is that show ever gonna go off the air?
Have you watched it recently?
No, I don't think anyone really
It's
does.
awful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when it debuted, and I think we've talked about it before. I was in elementary school,
Yep.
and then you said the proverbial "fuck you're old," and yeah, I kind of went from there. But that shit's still on. It's
Yeah.
probably on longer than you've been around.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, it's funny because all the originals, all the classic lines, like that's a paddling. We all know that shit.
That's,
I can't think of
they
anything in the
haven't
last
had.
10 years that you could.
I was gonna say they haven't had a memorable episode in the last like 10. I'll even say 15 years.
Yeah. To be honest, I think the last thing I remember being real big was Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Yo, that was like the big thing on the playground.
Yeah.
I straight up remember that episode airing, me and my friends running outside and like, holy shit, who do you think did it?
Yeah. I remember I was in high school when that happened. I'm just like, wait, everyone knew what it was. I mean, Who Shot JR? It was just a play on that, but for some reason that was
Yeah.
our generation's,
Oh, no, that was our generation's Who Shot JR.
Yeah, yeah. But in Simpsons, man, I remember it was South Park. Like they got in some big trouble because they put Bart Simpson in one of their episodes, and they had that whole cartoon crossover thing, and
That they actually, so the story with that, they didn't get in trouble with the Simpsons creators. They actually got in trouble with Fox with Family Guy because the Simpsons creator, because I think that was the same episode where they made fun of Family Guy.
yeah, they were both in it.
Yeah, and they shit all over Family Guy, and Matt Groening and all of them sent them roses saying you're doing God's work.
That was where they did they had was it manatees or dolphins or something in the tanks?
Yes.
That was
like they kind of like the episode was like, yeah, they made fun of the Simpsons, but it was kind of like how they're all just kind of corny now, and Bart was the bad boy back in the 90s and Cartman's the bad boy now, and they're like comparing their pranks.
yeah.
Where Bart's like, oh yeah, I cut the head off a statue, and Cartman straight up goes, I killed a guy's parents and fed them to him in Chile.
Yeah. Some fucking dark shit.
But like they kind of rag on the Simpsons a little bit, but it's a 30-minute episode of them shitting all over Family Guy, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. Imagination. What the hell is it?
No, Imagination Land's a different one.
Oh, okay. I remember they had a bunch of appearances by other things. Was it Cartoon Wars? Is that what it
Yes.
was called? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
There you go. I remember their other big one was when they had animated depiction of Muhammad, and it was like
Yep.
huge.
And
It was
bad.
funny because like the season before that, or 2 seasons before that, they had him like no big deal. Like he was part of the Super Friends, but it was Jesus and
Mhm.
Pals, and there's Muhammad, like no big deal. And then all of a sudden it's huge, and he was actually in the opening credits for that season, like forever, and nobody cared. But yeah, that South
Now they have
Park's
to
still
censor
on. Yeah, now they do.
South Park's still on, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's even funnier. I love South Park now because they are trying to get canceled.
Yeah, I remember the China episode is getting them a lot of shit, and
Yeah.
another one that came out recently that was pretty big time. I remember the COVID one was hilarious. That
I
was
still need to watch that one actually.
a COVID special.
Yeah.
But yeah, it became more episodic. Like everything, it's got like an overarching story to it now per
We're
season.
like, yeah, we're like the first like 5, maybe 6 seasons are very like self-contained episodes, and then after that, there's a whole overarching story.
Yeah, I got PC Principal and all that crazy stuff in there. So, but yeah, that one's
Mr.
still doing
Garrison's
well.
the Trump knockoff of the president.
His running mate was
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner. There you go. It's funny stuff still. I mean, that's
Oh,
another
yeah.
show that came out when I was in high school. It premiered. It's still on, still going. And they had a documentary where they showed the filming process of that. Like something happens and they can get the episode out there in like days. Like that's how quick they have their turnaround on an episode.
Yeah. Well,
So
now, yeah, because back in the day, it was all still on construction paper and shit, and it'd take them like months, and now it's all computer animated, and they shit out an episode in a week.
yeah, there's there's literally an app on an Apple product on an iPad where you can put together your own South Park episodes. I mean, that's how easy it is now. And yeah, they can just take care of those in
I
like a
I
matter
straight
of
up remember
days.
like one week, uh, one week's Comedy Central was just like, this is an episode of South Park so new we don't even have clips for it because they're just running so behind on schedule.
Yeah, it's like they literally it's they don't even have to ship film anymore. They don't have to get the film anywhere. They just upload like, oh here it is. They send
Yep.
it in an email for God's sakes. It's like, here, let me drop box this to you real quick, and we're done. All right, there you go. It's just crazy. I worked in a theater when they still had reels. We would get those boxes in, and they would put fake names on them so that during the whole
Oh yeah.
transportation process, nobody would steal it. It's just, what the fuck are you gonna do with 400 miles worth of Harry Potter? You know, like, how are you gonna play it? What are you gonna do with it? Why are you gonna steal it? But yeah, they
I don't know
still.
about you, but I'm gonna show it off on my $6,000 projection machine.
Yeah, that's another thing. God, man, those everything's digital now, but
Yep.
it's just amazing. They mail them out in like bubble wrap. It's a bubble wrap mailer, and it's a couple of discs that can only play on these certain things, and there's your movie. It's insane. So, but segue. Hey, watch this. They are not going. Well, they're going to release Wonder Woman 84
Oh yeah.
on
Christmas Day.
HBO. Yeah,
That was a
HBO and
nice.
theaters.
This is a nice segue. It's like we're professionals or something.
We pre-planned this or something.
I got the script. Hold on.
Oh, oh,
Well,
there you
now
go.
half
Yeah.
my notes don't work because half of these are like, all right, make fun of Big V, make fun of V, make fun of V.
Take a ball from this column and a ball from this column and make a big V joke. Yeah, so they decided to take Wonder Woman 1984, release it on streaming and theaters. I don't know who's going to go out Christmas Day to go see Wonder Woman, but I mean,
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
my wife and I watch Wonder Woman. We have HBO, so that's no big deal. But
Exactly. I have HBO. Fuck it.
yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, if it's there, yeah, but we're not going to go out of our way, you know? And a lot of people, I think, are kind of feeling the same way. Either A, they can't because of lockdowns, or B, they're just like, meh. So,
I miss movie theaters, just not that much. And I know that makes me part of the problem now. Why I'm single-handedly killing the theater business, but I don't want to get sick.
yeah. I mean, it's so weird too, because I mean, you get so much information and you don't know what. Supposedly, if we get it, it's survivable, but nobody wants a fucking cold that bad.
No.
And if you get it, you can't get it again. So this is just what I heard. I mean, I'm sure other people have heard different things and everything like that,
It's
and we
so
don't want
yeah.
to
It's
get
so
taken off the air or whatever for spreading false information or whatever the
I'm
hell. But
I'm about
it's
like 95% certain I had it in February.
yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, I remember getting really sick before they even announced a COVID or anything like that, and I'm like,
Same.
did I have it? Did I? I don't
Well, the
know.
thing that I was like, I got like it got passed around my house, and we all got really sick. And then the thing that like just clicked in my mind for it was like at the tail end, like I'm getting better and everything, and then like oh suddenly I can't smell or taste anything.
Oh, yeah. Usually those are indicators of something far worse.
Yeah. Well, so it just feels like your nose is so plugged up.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it felt like for me. It's just like I can't. I'm blowing my nose. I can't get anything out, but it's so plugged up that I can't breathe through my nose, smell anything, or taste anything. So I'll just fucking write it out.
Uh, uh, yeah. But I mean, it's almost become one of those things where when you were a kid, your parents would have you go play with the kid that had chicken pox so you could get it and it would just be done, you know. And there's another
Ooh,
South
South
Park
Park
episode.
reference.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we'll go play Ookie Mouth.
Yeah. But they would have you go get the chicken pox because you can only get it once, and once it's done, I mean, it was like, oh,
Did
we'll
your
get it at our convenience.
did your parents actually ever do that?
No, I
I
caught
was,
it at
I
school
was like,
from another kid
Jesus.
that had it, and then I gave it
I
to my
caught it in school
sister.
too, but I was my parents loved me. They weren't like, "Hey, go play with this already sick child."
Yeah, it was funny because they had a couple of kids that like, oh, so like little Billy's got chicken pox. Oh, go to his birthday party. It's like, invite him over. They just wanted to have a time where they thought they could manage it or just get over it and get through it or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I
Well,
mean,
because
do
if
you
you
even?
don't get it, doesn't it turn into something worse?
I think in adulthood it can actually kill you. I mean,
Yeah.
someone's probably going to be like, "You guys are full of shit," but this is just what I heard. But I mean, I don't have kids or anything, so I've never had to go through that as a parent. Did you? Has it happened with you guys yet?
No.
No.
That's
See,
the thing that kind of makes me nervous. Is like I don't even remember the last time I've seen a kid with chicken pox.
yeah, I haven't heard of. I mean, I've heard of whooping cough more recently than I have chicken pox.
That's because people are stupid and don't vaccinate their kids.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's like with COVID, do I just want to get it and fucking get it over with and then just live my life, or like I said, did I already get it? Or because
Where did they try doing that in Amsterdam? I think
hmm
where
wait,
they're just like, yeah, go live life how you usually live it, and then if you catch it, then you catch it, and then hey, you'll build up your immunity to it. And then it like failed miserably because they had a bunch of deaths.
yeah, they were calling it herd immunity or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. we're getting venturing into the politics side of things that we try to avoid on here.
Mm-hmm.
But, from what I understand, you get a hell of a fever and cold. You can survive it if you don't have any pre-existing issues or you're not 70.
Yeah,
And
which
once you get it, you don't get it again. That's what my
I'm
impressions
a
are.
fairly healthy 30 almost 33-year-old, so
Yeah, I mean, people our age are pretty easy to not easy to get over, but it's not going to kill you.
no.
So, I mean, I had walking pneumonia when I was a teenager, and that, fuck. I mean, you're not throwing up mucus from what I can tell, so it's not that bad, but that sucks, man. Oh my God. Your lungs start filling up and you feel like you're drowning, and then you puke a bunch of snot. Ugh. I hope
I've
nobody's
had
eating while they're listening to this.
I don't
So,
know, like I've never heard of walking pneumonia. I don't think I've ever had that.
yeah, it's like a lesser version of pneumonia where you get a lot of the same symptoms, but you're still functional.
Oh,
So,
maybe I have had it then.
yeah, your lungs start to fill up, and
You just can't catch your breath.
yeah, and then I'd start coughing to the point where I would literally throw up, and it would be the shit from my lungs that was in there. So good
That
stuff,
never
good
happened. I
times.
just coughed up green shit.
Oh yeah, it's always fun. So
Yeah, welcome to the plague corner.
got to schedule one of those. Uh, I only got a couple more things listed here to go over. I don't know, man. This might be our shortest
Let's see if
episode
our
ever.
lists cross because I got a couple.
You just want to start throwing shit out there?
Uh, Deadpool writing started.
Yep, that was on my list,
Uh,
but we talked about that. What are your
we talked
thoughts?
about it off air, so it
Yeah,
doesn't count.
yeah, no, that's
It's
what I mean. We had
non-canon.
talked about it.
Um, they well, you got mad because you're a straight white man and possible incel. Because they fired everybody and they hired a woman staff. Well, it's the sister team from Bob's Burgers, so it's them and Ryan Reynolds writing it.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't the fact that they're women. It's the fact that they fired the original writers who had done two decent movies, and it's the fear of the unknown, and it just makes me worry that they did it for stunt
well,
purposes rather than merits.
it, it is Disney, so they will do basically anything for inclusion to look like they include everybody when they really don't.
Yeah.
Um, but like Disney has said that like it is going to be a rated R. Deadpool is going to be part of the MCU, but like he'll be in his own kind of his own little bubble.
Yeah.
I almost think they should do like since Stanley passed. I almost think they should have Deadpool fill in that spot.
The Stan Lee that just shows up in everything as something
Yeah,
else.
and
Yeah.
then just have it be Deadpool because it'd make a lot more sense than fucking Stan Lee.
Like if he just popped up and said something, like talked directly to the audience and gave them like a little
Well,
narrative of what's going on or
no,
something.
just like the Stan Lee cameos.
Oh, just have him like, oh, there he is riding a unicorn in the background somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
that could be cool.
what the fuck? Like that time Stan Lee was in a was a DJ in a strip club.
Oh, yeah. Just have him randomly be in certain areas and certain parts.
Yeah, Did,
Yeah, that could work.
was Stan Lee in Deadpool too?
Yeah.
I
Remember
don't
he
remember.
was in the trailer for it, if I remember correctly. They had like that little
Oh,
mini movie.
okay, yeah.
I don't remember. I think the last one I remember seeing him in was Venom, that was out of the MCU, and then the
He was
last
in
one in
Venom.
the yeah, he was at there at the very end. Spoilers
Oh,
if you
I yeah
haven't.
yeah yeah. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
he gave him advice about back to his girlfriend or
It's
whatever.
it's a Stan Lee cameo in a Marvel movie. It's not really the biggest spoiler.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true too. But that's not a Marvel movie. It's not MCU yet. I mean,
You think Stan Lee gives a fuck?
no, he doesn't. It's all the
And
characters that he's been around forever, so he don't care.
and at that point, like that was kind of at the tail end of it. Oh no, Venom's Sony.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
Oh, I
was
forgot about that.
Marvel,
Because
but
I was thinking Fox.
yeah,
Because I was at the tail end of that news.
yeah. So Fox, I mean, I just hope they do it justice, man. Like the first
I
two
think they will.
Deadpools are great, but
Because they're also talking about like they want to keep it rated R, but because of that they can't put it on Disney Plus. But they're
yeah,
also talking about having Disney Plus, but for like an adult version for rated R movies, because there's plenty of rated R Disney funded movies.
yeah. I think we talked about this in another episode where Touchstone used to be where they released all their shady stuff back in the 80s and early 90s. And Touchstone Pictures, and I don't remember what their one is now that they have for that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I don't remember what they released their more adult oriented
Yeah.
material through. But they've got
I
more
mean,
than one studio, so
yeah.
they could do it. But yeah, Disney
And
Plus
I'm
doesn't have any rated R thing. All their Fox stuff that they've acquired, they just don't put out there if it's R. So I don't know. Be
and they're
interesting
keeping
to see.
the same director from Deadpool 2.
Okay, so it's just strictly a writer. I heard all the staff was fired except for Ryan Reynolds.
No,
And
they're it's the same director from Deadpool 2. It was just basically the writers, the Molyneux, the sisters,
yeah, I'm
which
not gonna like on it before it comes out. I just get mad when they take something that's worked and they just like throw it out. You know?
you're mad because women took jobs of a bunch of men.
Yeah, that's it. No, I've said this before. I've said it 100 times. I mean, I don't fuck with something that works. I I don't care what the change is. I just don't like the change. Like I said, I mean, the original Spawn movie was fucking terrible, but they
Oh
took
yeah,
a black male character in Chapel and they changed it into a white female with priest, and it pissed me off. And they take, like the Michael B. Jordan Johnny Storm thing, but that movie was also fucking terrible. And they do it for stunt purposes. It didn't have any reason, They just
hmm
do it and say, "Hey, look what we did." And like we were talking off air about this, like if they take the property that are considered quote unquote inclusive of all these different sectors of life, all these different, nationalities and sexual preferences and males and females and trans and all these things. There is so much material out there untapped. Like I told you, a Midnighter and Apollo movie, I would fucking throw money down to go and see. I would go and see
Yeah.
that. And like we were talking about it, half the fucking people don't even that read comics don't even know who the fuck they are. So they don't have a market for it. They can't market that because nobody already knows what it is. But you take Spider-Man and you make it whatever, different gender, different race, different it's Spider-Man plus look what we did. And I mean, it's great that there's representation, but to me it's just laziness when you have so
Well,
many other things out there that you can tap into that are genuinely good and represented whatever.
well, there is genuinely good uh, Spider-Man that are, a female Spider Gwen and Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Those are genuinely good.
Those have gotten over genuinely. I mean, but then you got other things like like how many different Miss Marvels and that whole character has been, you know, they've rebooted it how many times already?
Yeah,
You
but
got
like,
Miss Marvel, you got Captain Marvel, who used to be Miss Marvel, and it's just gotten so convoluted that you know, and it's funny because every major character from comics has pretty much a female counterpart. You know, you got
mhm.
Batman, you got Batwoman or Batgirl, you got Superman, you got Supergirl, you got Hulk, you got She-Hulk, you got Spider-Man, you got Spider-Woman. They all have their offshoot characters that have done that in the past, but those characters never really take off. Like She-Hulk's getting her own series, which is cool, and I'll watch it. I mean, I got no problem with it. But they changed it enough that I mean, she's a lawyer and everything else. You start adding all these different things to it, and it makes it its own thing. So I'm totally cool with that. I mean, you needed a little bit of a boost with the Hulk name in order to get people interested. And then once you got them interested, you kept their attention. It's the same kind of thing they with Miles Morales,
Mhm.
But for every Miles Morales, there's another character that they threw out there and just fucking went out to die, basically, just so they could say, hey, look what we did. But I remember,
Remember Ben Parker?
yeah, and you got Ben Parker who just that was just a shit storyline from the 90s, the Clone Saga. But
Which, like, that was the coolest costume that I love. Maybe it's because the '90s. I was a '90s kid, and oh, it's a cut up hoodie with a spider on it. That's cool.
yeah, I
But I remember that whole Clone Saga being like, This is fucking garbage."
Yeah, even as a kid, you realize that you're like, what are they
Mm,
doing? But I mean, did you ever see the preview that it hasn't come out yet for the New Warriors?
no.
So what what they were doing is they were going to reboot the New Warriors, and the New Warriors for its time was great. It was one of
Hmm.
those kind of team books. I mean, you had Night Thrasher, which a black character who's a badass who I love, and I would love to see brought to the films or something like that. you know, he was kind of cheesy in the 90s riding around on a skateboard and shit, but he had his armor and his batons and stuff. He was like a black Nightwing, but cool. So you had the New Warriors of the 90s. What they had proposed was a new teaming of the New Warriors, and the characters were so ridiculous that I don't think it got like the video for the presentation of it got ratioed to just fucking hell. I mean, they did so many negative votes on it. They had this kid, his name was I can't remember the names, thank God, but he got his powers through internet gas, and people were like, "What the what? What the fuck is internet gas?" His grandfather's internet gas. Um, I forget what the hell his name was. So they had that one, and they had this another character called B negative, which was like he had gotten a blood transfusion from Morbius, Michael Morbius.
Hmm.
So he was like this vampire emo goth kid. And then they had this other one. She was like a heavy set, I think Native American or I don't remember what it was. And she had a magical backpack that was like Felix the Cat, where you could just pull random shit out of this backpack. And then they had this brother and sister, and their names, no shit, were Safe Space and Snowflake.
Shit. Huh.
And the boy wore pink. His outfit was pink, and his sister was non-binary, and she wore the blue. So you're getting these kind of characters, and like I said, it got ratioed to hell. Like it pissed off both sides. You know, it pissed off like the comic purists. They're like, "What the fuck is this?" And then it pissed off all the
Oh yeah.
people, and they're like, "What? This is pandering bullshit. We're not gonna. This is crap."
Yeah, I've
So
never heard of this, and I just looked it up, and holy shit, I could see that.
yeah, yeah. So this it was supposed to come out right around the storyline of I guess the champions. Were the champions is Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, and a couple other characters, Amadeus Cho and stuff like that. But they were doing like a Civil War type storyline where teenagers were outlawed from being superheroes. So all the teenage superheroes, it was like Civil War. They had to go into hiding and blah blah blah. But
I
the
think I heard
whole
about this.
yeah, so the whole thing just got scrapped because there was just so much hate towards it. So I mean, like I say, they tried to make new
Like,
characters and they just did it so wrong. it got
yeah,
it got so
I
much hate they
never
didn't release it.
exactly. I never read it because I thought it sounded stupid, but I think I remember all of this.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to have a. I think Barnes and Noble and stuff had a release date for the trade paperback.
So
It's sometime in
the
November,
the
and it just missed the deadline.
the heavy set Native American girl is like named Trailblazer,
Yeah,
which seems kind of racist.
yeah. I mean, like you remember the old Justice League cartoon or Super Friends cartoon where they had to throw in some random like ethnic people, and they had the Native American, and I forget it was such a stupid name for him. I don't remember. It was like
Fucking crazy eagle or some shit.
something like that, yeah. But they just threw in these three random characters to try and cover the diversity. You know, I think it was like Tomahawk or something. Someone will probably say you guys are so wrong, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was. It's just crazy because if you try to force it, it's gonna screw everything up, and people are gonna hate it, and the characters are gonna suck. But if
Hmm.
you let things flow naturally, I find that, and you're original with it, I find that the characters are a lot more easier to accept and like if you put it because, I mean, making something check boxes and throwing it out there isn't gonna make people get behind it. If you take a character and you give it a decent story and you work with it and you make you put something behind it rather than this is what it is. It's a Native American gay bisexual whatever you throw
Yeah.
into this character that
The,
can't be its only gimmick you know
yeah. That's the thing is that like they're trying to force diversity into these comic books when it's mainly like run by a bunch of predominantly straight white men, and they don't understand that a character can be gay or bisexual or black, and that's not their personality.
yeah. Yeah, and then they've done the stunt thing too, where they've just changed somebody. Oh, all of a sudden now they're gay because I mean they did it with North Star, and that
Mm-hmm.
one went over somewhat well. But then the thing they did with Iceman, you're just like, wait, what? What? They've taken an established character who's been around for 50 years or so. Oh yeah, Iceman's gay. He just never knew. He never Jean Grey made him realize that he was gay. It's just like, wait, what? What the hell's going
Wait,
on?
the fuck was that?
Yeah. So there's a right way with Midnighter and Apollo, which you guys try and find it and read it. It's good shit. And there's a wrong way where it's like, oh yeah, Iceman's gay now. So
Because Jean Grey turned him gay for some reason.
yeah. But back to the Super Friends. So the Native American, his name was Apache Chief,
Of course it
and
was.
the African American was named Black Vulcan. So yeah, there's the '70s for you, everybody. I had to look it up because I honestly didn't remember. I was just like, I remember it being like underliningly racist.
Racist cartoon books.
Yeah. Well, no, this was the cartoon. They didn't even bother putting them in the
Yeah.
comics. So, yeah, Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Is there
Turned into a racist comic. Or
well,
tirade.
I guess. I say it's anti.
Nah.
I'm saying do it the right way, and I got no problem with any of it, man. But I mean, Into the Spider-Verse was almost well, it was better than some of the Spider-Man movies, and
It was better than a lot of the Spider-Man movies.
yeah. So
I'm sorry, I can't fucking watch the Tobey Maguire ones anymore.
you know what? That first one was such a big deal when it came out for me that I can still watch it. The third one's where I start to just kind of, yeah. But the
The
second one
first
was really
one,
good too.
no, the second one's really good. I'll still hold on to that one, but the first one is so like, I like my cheese in movies, but like, that one was like openly cringe lines.
Yeah, there was a few in there that were pretty bad.
You're the one who's out, Gobby, out of your mind. Ish. Did you actually
Yeah,
read that?
yeah. And I can't believe they let him get away with it. But
Oof.
all right. So, is there any plot or anything? Any characters returning that they've mentioned besides Deadpool? Any other information?
Not. I think they're just. It's so early that they haven't really said anything.
Yeah. And with going into Disney, I mean, who knows if they're going to do X-Force or Cable's going to be around or
I'm hoping Cable's there because Josh Brolin as Cable is great.
Yeah, I like Cable a lot. And Domino was okay too, but
I like Domino.
yeah.
The girl who played Domino. I liked her.
Yeah, no, she played it well. They kind of
Mm.
switched the personality a little bit, but other than that, it's no big deal.
Ooh, now we can have Bob from Hydra too.
Yeah, Hydra Bob.
'Cause
They
we
kind of
kinda
alluded
had
to
him.
it. Yeah.
Did he call him Bob in the first one?
Yeah. I was Bob, and he's like,
Yeah.
hey Wade, and then
And
yeah,
they're
he
like,
just
oh, and it's totally possible that this guy could just be like, well, my boss is dead, and I might as well just join up with Hydra because I'm professional henchman.
yeah. That would be fun to see. I mean, I like that they're getting everything for the most part back under one banner so they can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Hulk, as long as they put him in someone else's movie, it's okay. They can't do a solo Hulk movie, but well, fucking Universal. But they've pretty much got everything back. So, go for it, man. They've got nothing but
I did kind of
opportunity.
want that. I did kind of want that Planet Hulk movie though.
Yeah, I think Ragnarok's the closest we're gonna get. I mean, how fucking crazy would it have been if fucking Silver Surfer just flew in there?
Yeah, true.
That would have been pretty awesome. But anyway, any other movie, comic book news, comic book shows,
Uh,
nothing.
well, so have you been following this drama with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, yeah, I have.
So apparently they got Mads Mikkelsen to replace him in Fantastic Beasts 3.
I had heard that, and I'd seen the first one, and I fell asleep during the second one, so no big loss to me. But
I never saw the second one.
yeah, I tried to watch it twice. I fell asleep twice, and ironically, the only other movie that I've done that is From Hell, which is also Johnny Depp. But
That movie sucked.
I tried to watch it. Every time I watch it, I fall asleep. I don't know what it is,
And
but
maybe it's because I just really don't like Alan Moore, but the comic book wasn't good either.
yeah, it's very wordy.
Well, so is he. Because
Yeah,
he's
well,
got his
yeah,
head
that's
stuck up
that's
his
Alan
ass.
Moore.
Because he's just typing out these huge paragraphs on each page, and he's got the wine glass, and he just farts in and smells.
Yeah. I think that's a big reason of why it was so difficult for me to get through Watchmen, because I go into it with the comic book mentality, and I'm fucking novel, and then there's a novel within a novel, and I'm just like,
Fuck.
Jesus, man, like the Don Treader and all that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Johnny Depp. Uh, I don't know how people view this thing, but I mean, I think everybody was in the wrong. I think certain people were more in the wrong than Johnny Depp was, but his trial
Yeah.
over there in Europe was just a fucking shit show. I mean, she's going out with the fucking attorney, like going to dinner with the fucking judge and the attorneys and shit.
Jesus, I
And
didn't know about that.
yeah, there's all kinds of shady stuff going on with that. Johnny gets fucking kicked off of Fantastic Beasts, and then I guess I don't know if it's legit 100% or not, but Pirates of the Caribbean is going through some shit too. So he's off
Well, I
that.
heard when it first dropped, when all this news first dropped, and it was like Johnny Depp's abusing her, he got kicked off. But then when it came out that she was abusing him, uh, that he got put back on, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty murky, but from what I've heard, Margot Robbie taking over Pirates of the Caribbean, and
Ooh.
she's gonna be the lead. Now, I don't know if it just takes place in the Pirates of the Caribbean universe, an offshoot movie, but I think what Disney was doing was giving itself an out in case it went that way, so that they could bring Johnny Depp back, if
Yeah,
which is smart on Disney's part, but
because it'd be good if they're like, okay, well, we're gonna continue it without Johnny Depp, and then they build up Margot Robbie's character, and then maybe bring in like after all the shit clears off, maybe bring in Johnny Depp as like a legacy pop. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean when her arc starts not making as much at the box office, do the crossover movie. You
Yeah.
know, it's like American Ninja. You had Michael Dudikoff through the first three, and then they put in that other random dude, and then the last movie it was both of them. And I know nobody, but maybe 5 people understood that reference.
I didn't. I was just gonna let you roll with it.
It's like American Ninja. What the fuck?
It's like, all right, whatever, man.
Yeah, it's a movie series before a TV show, but
I'll just,
You
remember this
can't,
when I
you
go off
can't.
about
If
Samurai
V's not
Cop.
here, you can't just go quiet for 20 minutes or go take a piss while I go off. It's not gonna work without V here this
Talk
time.
about talk
American
about
Ninja, I
American
gotta
Ninja
go
for
shit.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
I've
but
got to sneak away.
yeah. Anyway, I like Johnny Depp. Um, I still want to see him in Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I know he can't do them forever, but
Yeah.
I like those movies. I'll still go see them. Even though they're not as great as the first couple, but there are 4 or 5 of them
I
now.
liked I liked the newest one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, yeah. When they got rid of Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, and he just had it like his own story on his own, it's good. It had Barbosa in it still, but
Yeah. I don't know. Hold on. No. Balboa is probably the best character in there.
yeah, yeah. I do enjoy some Jeffrey Rush,
Okay.
but you know, yeah. I mean, the two of them they could have carried that. They don't need Orlando Bloom,
Yeah.
but
Are you mad because he's better looking than you?
there's not many people who aren't. So I'd
I
have to.
mean, good
That's why I'm
point, but
so angry at everyone. I go and kick bums who have better facial hair than I do. So because they're better
I
than
don't
me.
know. Your goatee is pretty marvelous.
It's pretty sweet goatee, bro.
It's pretty sweet goatee. It's all pencil thin and shit.
It's like in Tony Stark, man. Yeah, it's
Oh
sculpted.
man.
What is that? Uh,
I gotta take the eyebrow trimmers every day to it and just buzz it down.
shit, that's a fucking work of art, man. You can't just let that shit go.
Mm-mm.
It's like a fucking chia pet. You got to spend every day with it. Fucking Daniel LaRusso working on a goddamn bonsai. Uh, yeah, that on a whole different note, that new season comes out in January, so you have some time to catch up if you're ever gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. Anyway,
Shit.
more TV. I don't know if you ever watched it or we're still keeping up with it, but the 40-year run of Supernatural finally came to a close.
Fuck. I don't keep oh my god. Okay, I can't. So my wife watches it religiously. She loves that show.
Hmm.
Um, do you watch it?
I got to I think season 9 or 10, and then I dropped off.
I do like anytime like there's a couple like one-off episodes that I sat down and watched, and anytime Castiel's on TV. I always like it, but other than that, I've sat down, I've tried to watch it, and it's so fucking boring to me.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Like I really like the lore and the world they've built up around it. It's just like most of the time it seems like they're like it's a show for horny housewives to get wet over Jensen Ackles.
yeah. The first season was great, but it was
It
just kind of like
was
they
Monster of the Week.
yeah, it started that way, but when you got to the season finale, I mean, with the yellow-eyed demon and everything, that was pretty much what they needed to do. They were done. Their father, who, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, fucking badass. I
Yeah,
love that. That was awesome. And then it just kind of, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I lasted till like season 9 or 10, but when you
yeah,
got the angels and the demons and all that, and that's all that it was, I just kind of lost interest in it, and it got boring because it was the same. Like, all right, which brother's gonna die this season and come back the next
exactly,
season, and they're gonna fight, and
exactly.
then. So past that, I don't know what happens. I may give it another go, just to watch, see how it all ends. But that's a long run for a CW show. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I think it was legit. I think
I don't.
15 seasons. I
I
can
think
find out.
yeah. While you do that, like I did have a good laugh because like on that show, the big is the guy who kind of played the asshole in every movie in the '90s.
Is who?
I don't
You kind of
I
cut
don't
out.
know his name. I said
Oh,
the guy who played the big asshole angel is the same guy who played like the asshole in every movie in the '90s.
oh, yeah. Um, I can't think of his name right now.
I can't think of his name either, but like, well, good thing I'm sitting on my computer right now. But he played the bad guy in No Holds Barred.
Yeah. In Wayne's World too. He
Oh
was in
yeah, he
Wayne's
was in
World.
Wayne's World.
I
Yeah,
can't remember that. He's been in. He was in Running Man. He was in, like I can't
uh,
tell you what he's been in.
Kurt Fuller.
Kurt Fuller. Okay.
Is it?
He's one
Yeah,
of those
that's him.
guys we talked about that just pops up in fucking everything, but you don't know who he is.
You don't know his name, but you know him. Yeah, Wayne's World, Ghostbusters 2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He was in Scary Movie.
Yeah. If it's listed there, I believe it.
The Running Man. I remember.
Yeah, he was the one that Schwarzenegger took the pen and stabbed him in the back. Oh no, that was the other guy. Never mind. Never mind. I got screwed up.
He's just like the career of like being the asshole.
Yeah, it's like the same guy in Happy Gilmore, Shooter McGavin. Like that dude is an
Uh,
asshole in everything.
yeah, but he's really good at it.
Yeah, that's and even Johnny Lawrence in Karate Kid. That dude's been an asshole in like everything. So it's just who he
Christopher
is.
McDonald.
Hmm.
That's Shooter
Shooter
McGavin.
McGavin. Yeah. But that's like I said, 15 seasons. That's pretty crazy for a CW show to
What the
go
fuck?
that long. What?
I just stumbled upon. Oh wow, he's looking rough. I just stumbled upon this uh, Christopher McDonald. Just stumbled upon this story from 2019 about him possibly going to jail for a DUI.
Yeah, he was telling the cops, "Don't you know who I am? I'm Shooter McGavin." He was literally what he was telling the cops. But yeah,
Well,
I
it
remember
could
hearing
be
about
worse,
that.
and he could just go off about like a anti-Semitic thing, like Mel Gibson did.
Yeah, that was a shame, man. I like Mel Gibson, but you know,
Oh, turns out you're an asshole.
yeah, he's like fucking Mad Max is awesome. Martin Riggs is like
Mhm.
one of the best characters ever, and you gotta. Luckily, I can separate the actor from the art, but
I did
that's rough.
like that. I did like that interview where he called the guy interviewing him a prick.
Well, I mean,
Did you ever
coming
see
from
that?
Mel Gibson, that's a compliment, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember now. I don't remember seeing that. Didn't he
So
call a
like he
cop
asked
sugar
about
tits or something like that too?
probably
Yeah,
probably
I don't
it
remember
sounds like
who it
something
was.
you do, but like He was on a doing an interview for what was it? I think it's called Edge of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about edging you. Um,
Okay.
I think that it was that one, and the guy interviewing brought up the DUI arrest, and you could tell like Mel Gibson's face, his body language, he kind of just checks out,
Mm.
and he's like, I don't think we need to talk about that right now. And well, all right, Edge of Darkness premiering this day, and Mel Gibson just starts drinking his coffee, and he's like, all right, Mel, good to see you, and Mel Gibson just gives him a thumbs up, wastes 10 seconds, and goes, fucking prick.
Oh man.
But he was still on camera.
Yeah. I remember. There's been shit like that all the time. These fucking reporters, like, they go out of what they're supposed to be doing. They go off key or whatever. The one with Robert Downey Jr. is another one that pisses me off.
That one's hilarious, and yeah, it irritates me the hell out of that guy because he's one of those guys who tries to go out of his way and piss off celebrities. It feels like.
Yeah.
Because he did the same thing to Quentin Tarantino.
What was it in regards to? What was he giving shit over?
The overabundance of violence in his movies.
Oh.
And Tarantino was just like, you're trying to bait me, and I'm shutting that shit down now. You want to talk about the movie that's coming out? We'll talk about that. But you want to bring this shit up? It's not happening.
Yeah. It's like you are a fucking entertainment reporter. You go in there, you give them softball fucking questions, let them promote their movie. That's your fucking purpose.
And
then
don't
you
need
sit
to be
there.
bringing up sore shit from the past.
Like, hey, Robert Downey Jr., do you think you played this part well because you're a drug addict? It's like, wait, what? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like Robert Downey Jr. is like the guy who he's one of those guys who I'd feel bad if he was mad at me. Like, what'd I do? Just tell me how to fix it.
I would be afraid to piss him off because I know he's probably got such a quick wit and a fucking silver tongue that he could bury your ass in a second, you know?
Ooh, speaking of reporters pissing off people who they shouldn't, did you ever see the one where they're sitting down in an interview with fucking Mike Tyson?
I think I remember this one.
He brings up the rape charge.
Yeah. Oh.
And Tyson, like, again, you could tell when somebody just checks out and Tyson's body language just totally changes and he's just like, why are you being a fucking asshole? Like on live, like local news TV is like calling him a fucking asshole. You're a fucking piece of shit. Like out of everybody, out of all the people, why the fuck would you try to start shit with Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he's in his 60s now, but god damn, he's still like huge and still could punch really fucking hard.
Oh yeah. Of all the people, like you say, it's like going in there and being like, you know, hey, Ewan McGregor, or not Ewan McGregor, Jesus, Conor McGregor, or what the fuck? I can't think of it. The UFC guy.
Yeah, Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. It's like, hey, Conor McGregor, are you a fucking drunken Irishman? Why'd you go in there and just try to poke the bear and get someone that could destroy you to fucking do it? That's
hey, Brock Lesnar, why are you such a lazy piece of shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, why am I tied up in a pretzel?
You imagine fucking going off on Brock Lesnar? What do you think he's gonna do? Jesus.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yes, exactly. It's like fucking dropping the N-bomb on New Jack in the middle of a match. You know you're fucking dead. Jesus. You know he's cutting your ass. Yeah. God. Yeah, you don't fucking poke the bear.
That's my favorite story. The little fat kid who told him, "Hey, I've never bladed before. Can you cut me?"
Oh, fucking mass transit.
Good old mass transit.
I remember because when I was trading tapes, that was the fucking hottest tape to try and track down. Oh, yeah. Oh my god! And that kid
there's a video where New Jack kills a guy.
He's literally, man. Jeez, his fucking forehead was gushing. And
for anybody who doesn't know, New Jack is a local independent crazy man in the world of professional wrestling. And this, what was it, like 97, 96?
Yeah, it was late 90s.
ECW was holding a local show to promote their pay-per-view at the time that ultimately got canceled because of this. And I guess the kid was just like this. First of all, he was like, what, 17?
Yeah, he wasn't even 18 yet. Yeah.
He wasn't 18, but he lied about his age, said he was 21.
And he had then I guess a midget wrestler vouch for him too. that he had been
Yeah.
trained and everything else.
And I guess that was the extent of his training, was wrestling midgets. And he told everybody, yeah, I'm 21. And I guess he was like kind of big leaguing everybody in the back, kind of pissing everybody off. And if you have any knowledge of locker room etiquette in professional wrestling, if like you're still a kid, you don't walk up to somebody and be like, okay, so this is what we're doing on our match today. You sit down, you listen, you shut up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what this kid was doing to New Jack, and he was just like, all right, while he's taping up his fucking hands. And he, I guess, pulled New Jack aside and say, hey, I want to bleed in this match, and I've bled before, so can you cut me? And New Jack was fucking like, gladly, and so I get different reports on this, different stories. It's either an X-Acto knife or a scalpel.
Yeah.
That New Jack just like, and it's not nice at all. First of all, the match, like, I don't think it was Devon and Mass Transit versus Mustafa and New Jack, and oh yeah, Devon does hit the ring, but he quickly gets taken out, and New Jack Mustafa, who's another big scary guy, just light this kid up. And when it comes time to bleed, New Jack's not nice about it. No. He takes the X-Acto knife or whatever and just digs into this fucking fat kid's soft, buttery forehead and zips him across the forehead.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they were fucking him up before the match. Like, they full on chair shots to the face. They slammed him and damn near dropped him on his fucking head. Because he was a big guy too, so you know. But yeah, they were trashing him before all this happened.
Like, you could see, like, he's selling kind of like, oh no, I'm in pain. And then like you could see him change, like, once he realized how bad he's bleeding. He's just like, no, oh, because this shit's like, they zoom in on it and it's like squirting out of his fucking forehead.
Yeah, he hit an artery. He hit whatever the fuck under there, probably too. And just with each pump of his heart, you could see it work. And it looked like someone turned on a faucet in his forehead. And he's just gushing. It was, yeah, notorious in the world of wrestling. Did you ever see the Dark Side of the Ring on that?
Yes.
Yeah, they go into detail. Like, New Jack is just fucking insane. And,
yeah,
you know,
that was the Dark Side of Wrestling. It was about him. It was just mostly about him doing cocaine and fucking stabbing people.
So, yeah, he had a couple incidents like that. That and Gypsy Joe and a couple of them.
Wow. Well, the thing about, like, I kind of see where New Jack comes from with Gypsy Joe. Yeah. Did he take it too far? Yes.
Yeah.
But, like, again, Gypsy Joe, who's just like this, what fucking, he had to be in his 70s at that point.
I think so. Yeah, he was pretty old.
Like, New Jack, because you could tell, if you know what you're looking for, if you know what to look for in a wrestling match, you could tell New Jack's trying to work with him to a point, and then Gypsy Joe just headbutts him in the fucking nose, and Jack's just like, nope, this ain't happening anymore. I'm going to take this bat and beat you over the head with it a bunch of times.
Yeah. I remember there were like 4 big incidents with him. The other one was the Danbury Fall, where he tried to kill fucking Vic Grimes.
So the Danbury Fall is the one where Vic Grimes chickened out on a big drop.
Yeah.
And Vic Grimes, who's 350 pounds, New Jack's head, it was like a big, 20, 30-foot drop. Yeah. New Jack hits the concrete. Vic Grimes lands on his fucking head on the concrete.
Yeah, and it fucked New Jack up real bad.
He has like memory lapses and insomnia now.
Yeah, he had brain fluid coming out of his nose and shit after it.
And then the one you're talking about was when New Jack was trying to get revenge from that.
Yeah.
And that was like XPW, that stupid California promotion that tried to be what ECW was.
Yeah, that was XPW. It was the Free Fall pay-per-view show where it was a scaffold match. And they had tables in the ring, and they had done it in ECW. They call it the high incident match, but it was Tommy Dreamer and Primetime Brian Lee. So they do the same thing.
Primetime Brian Lee.
Yeah. They do the same thing, and New Jack fucking grabs Vic Grimes and just chucks him as hard as he fucking can to try and get him to miss the tables and the ring below and just throw him on the concrete.
you're missing the important part of that. And he chucks him off the scaffold after tasing him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
with one
tased
of
his
those
ass.
was one of those little hand tasers, and just getting it. And then I guess during, like, New Jack said, he goes, "Jack, I can't feel my legs," and New Jack says, "Don't worry, I got you." And Vic almost fucking died.
Yeah, he hit that corner of the ring, and it's crazy
That
because
saved his life.
if you watch it, it looks a lot worse than what happened. I mean, he got fucked up, but it was like he broke his ankle or something.
Yeah.
It was very minimal as to, fuck, he tried to kill him. But and then there was another incident with an indie wrestler I remember him having, but
I think I know. Is that when he stabbed him 14 times?
yeah.
And again, like,
Don't fucking piss off New Jack.
it was another issue of the guy, like, going in there and being stiff and trying to dump. He stiffed him a couple times with his, like, elbows to the face, and then they lock up again, and he, like, tries to shoot scoop slam New Jack, and then New Jack just says nope, and then ends up stabbing him 14 times.
Yeah. So yeah, then, remembering the escapades of New Jack.
Then the other one I remember was, like, the story I heard was the kid was trying to big league New Jack, and it was this little skinny kid, and New Jack, like, all right, there's a right way to hit somebody with a chair, and there's a wrong way to hit somebody with a chair, and
Yeah.
New Jack hit this kid the wrong way with a chair, and blood pours out this kid's head, and he got a fractured skull and shit.
Jesus, I didn't hear about that one. I have to look into that
yeah.
one. But now that we're on the subject of wrestling,
Now that we're on,
I don't know. What were you gonna get into? Because I had already mentioned the whole Undertaker thing.
now that we're already, like, bringing up New Jack, like, I have to tell you, when I met him back when he worked at BAW, where I started out here in McMinnville.
How did that go?
He was cool with me.
Yeah.
I was nice to him.
You see, that's the thing. A lot of these guys,
But, like,
just be nice.
yeah, just be nice. But he'd been, like, he did a hardcore match with a local guy, and he'd been drinking all night and all day.
Oh shit.
And, like, anybody who knows anything about alcohol and blood know that those two don't really mix. And we ended up having to carry him out of the fucking ring because he lost so much blood.
That's fucking, yeah. It's like if you're gonna get color, a lot of guys take aspirin or something to thin it out. But if you're drinking all day, it's mostly alcohol anyway coming out. So good God.
Anyway, you brought up the Undertaker.
Yeah. This is it was kind of big for me this week. I watched Survivor Series, and I mean the matches were good and everything, but I mean the selling point of this 30 years of a career. I don't want to mark out too much. I actually watched him debut. We were at a friend's house. She had a legal box, one of those descrambler boxes, and this fucking guy walks out, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm just like, jeez, look at that. My favorite wrestlers to that point were Jake the Snake and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, if that gives you any indication.
Yeah.
And this fucking guy walks out, and I was hooked instantly. It's fun. They show the kids in the crowd crying, and I was just like, no, this was my shit right here. I'm like, yes,
Oh my God. So I remember, like, the first time I actually, like, cried and freaked out during wrestling was, like, I thought the Undertaker was cool, but the Ultimate Warrior was my shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember I have this vivid memory of the Undertaker beating up Ultimate Warrior, throwing him in a casket, and locking it, and they're playing it off like the Ultimate Warrior suffocating in there.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get the casket open. And me, as a child, was just freaking out and crying.
There's some traumatizing
I just
incidents.
thinking I just watched my hero get murdered on TV.
The only thing that tops that for me is just like sticking out of my memory is like, what the fuck was when Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango,
Oh,
where that black shit was coming out of his. I was like, what the fuck?
Warriors!
Yeah, but
Oh,
no, man, it's funny because all these people are like, oh yeah, I love you. You know, I'm not trying to sound like I knew from the beginning. The second that fucking dude premiered, I love that fucking character and the way he evolved over the 30 years and, you know,
I
the
liked him, but that
streak.
Ultimate Warrior thing took me a while to get over.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that got me with him was when Macho Man and Elizabeth were coming through the curtain after they got married
Oh,
and Jake the Snake was about cuz I love Jake the Snake still even though he was an asshole heel, but he was about to hit Elizabeth and Elizabeth
and
was
the Undertaker. Yeah, I
like
remember
my
that.
girl. I was like, oh yeah, Liz. You know, God, if Macho Man could have heard
You,
me at 8 years
I don't
old, he would
ever
have
want you to say that noise
strangled my
again.
ass. What? Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Liz.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, that incident there where the Undertaker went face and he stopped the chair shot from hitting Liz. That was it. I mean, I could at that point, it was okay for me to like him because I was kind of like,
Still,
okay, he's a bad guy. It's not okay. I'm a kid, you know, my mom, and blah blah blah. But then when he stopped that chair shot, it was like, boom. That's it. I'm full in.
like, yeah, like, still to this day, one of the coolest things WWE's ever done with him was like, at that point where Jake the Snake gets they're on the what the fucking the pallbearer show, the funeral parlor or some shit.
Yeah, funeral parlor.
And Jake, whose side are you on? And then Undertaker straight up goes, not yours.
Yeah,
That was fucking cool. I don't care.
yeah. And then the devastating tombstone outside the ring at WrestleMania that
Oh
didn't that
yeah.
there was 2 feet of fucking. I was like, oh, he did
the
outside. But
the
yeah,
force of the Undertaker slamming him actually knocked him out
yeah, yeah,
because even though it looked like it was 2 feet away from his head,
yeah. But it's been a 30-year ride, man. And you know, I hate to say it and sound cheesy as shit, but if there was no Undertaker, I probably would have never gotten to professional wrestling myself. I
more memories. My Irish Catholic grandmother, who I lived with in my teenage years, she hated the fact that the Undertaker was my favorite wrestler because this was like right before he went into Biker Taker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's when he was doing the heavy satanic shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The Ministry of Darkness and
Yeah, she wasn't
the
too thrilled about that
tying
part.
people to crosses and yeah.
I wasn't allowed to have too much Undertaker merch from that period. But then it was like, oh no, look, he's a biker now. Apparently,
God. Yeah, I remember that. It was the purple gear where he
yep.
had the purple gloves and the spats and he was like face all its and then the Undertaker was a big deal. And then, you know, after that casket match with Yokozuna where he died, you know, the first time.
And then came back and fought himself.
Yeah. And then I mean so many things, man. The Hell in a Cell with Mankind, the Boiler Room Brawl with Mankind. The whole Kane storyline is fucking epic,
No,
you
like
know.
a lot of people like the Hell in a Cell with Mankind, but the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels was great.
Oh yeah, that's infinitely better. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that Mick Foley was able to take that fall, get up, go back to the ring, take that
Well, okay.
second fall, and then still put on a
It,
halfway okay match is speaks volumes. But the
I say,
Bad Blood pay-per-view was still a far superior Hell in a Cell match.
yeah, yeah. Like a wrestling match that has a good story of slimy shit heel Shawn Michaels trying to get away from big bad motherfucker Undertaker
Yeah,
is just an infinitely better story than hey, watch this car wreck.
yeah. But I mean, by far to me, and like I say, I may be a little partial, but the greatest wrestling match of all time for me is that WrestleMania 25 with him and Shawn Michaels the first time.
No, it yeah, it is. Well, Okay, so that one was very, 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 very good. But
Mhm.
from like a story psychology perspective, him and Triple H in the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels
As the special referee.
is fucking excellent.
Yeah, that one's very good as well. That series of I think that was it 4 years. It was
Yeah, that was a whole
Triple H, Triple
Shawn,
H.
Triple H. Yeah,
That 4 years right there was probably the peak of both, all three of them. You know,
yeah.
it
And
was,
honestly, if it would have ended there, I would not have been sad.
yeah,
Like that big final bow they kind of did, like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Undertaker kind of did at the end of the Hell in a Cell. If it
yeah,
would have just ended there, I wouldn't have been mad.
yeah. I mean, he had good stuff after that. That was peak right there. I mean,
Yep.
and then the streak, losing the streak, and then I got to see him at the year after against Bray Wyatt, you know, and
Yeah.
I I could
The,
say I saw Undertaker at WrestleMania, and that's just, but
I did WrestleMania 19 in Seattle.
okay,
Uh,
I'm trying to think who he was
That was
against.
Big
Ed?
Show and
Oh,
Albert,
oh, okay, the handicap match.
the handicap
It's
match.
supposed to be him and what the hell is his name?
It's supposed to be him and Nathan Jones, but
Nathan
Nathan
Jones, yeah,
Jones was fucking garbage in the ring. So Vince was like, "No, you're not doing this."
yeah. But I mean, as a fan, there's it's I'm glad he got to go out on his own the way he wanted to.
Yeah.
And as a wrestler, probably I know I could never and would never ever step in the ring with him and like I wish he's my dream opponent or but nothing like that. But one of the coolest things for me personally, we both wrestled at the same time. So I forget which WrestleMania it was. I think it was one with him and Cena. Um,
Oh yeah.
he was coming out and my music hit and I I had to go out and wrestle my match as he was wrestling his match against Cena. So I could say
Well,
I
yours
wrestled
probably
at the
lasted
same.
longer.
Well, I mean, not the entrance, but
Oh yeah, true.
but yeah, that was a short match with John Cena because it was more of an attack. But I got
Yeah.
to wrestle at the same time as the Undertaker, and that's my favorite memory because the guy that inspired me to get into the business and everything else was still wrestling at the time where I was wrestling as well. So, but
I
30 years is
do.
a hell of a run, man. I ain't gonna
I
see that.
do. I do remember when the last little bit of Mark inside me died when this picture floated around of the Undertaker because like now he's being really open. And it's really cool that he's really being open and now doing all these interviews. Like he did a Hot Ones interview.
I saw that.
Uh,
Yeah,
that was good.
eating the hot
He's doing all
wings.
this stuff now, but like just as far as like 5 or 6 years ago, seeing Mark Calloway was just fucking weird. And I remember this one picture that just killed the last little bit of fan inside me when it was him in a fedora with a kitty cat shirt. I was like, oh, the Undertaker's a fucking dork.
It's like that fucking Danzig picture where he's
Yeah.
coming out of the grocery store with the cat litter and shit. It just kind of kills. Oh man, I never saw that picture.
Oh man, now I gotta find it.
Yeah, but yeah. So, like I said, I think it went out. He went out well, and he did his thing, and you know, a lot of wrestlers don't get to do that, and it was good to see somebody that I had been following since the beginning have that a possibility for him. Do it his own
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
So,
And if you have $1,000, you can get a cameo from him.
Jesus, my birthday's coming up. Why don't you and Big V pitch in?
Suck my asshole. I don't like you that much.
Well, yeah.
Well, I guess they're only like for a limited time though, so I think they already got out. But there was a thread on Twitter, that people were posting their Undertaker cameos on, and some of them were fucking got kind of weird.
Oh, okay. Not
I
as
did
weird
get
as Kevin
nervous.
Nash or
No, Kevin Nash. Shut up. Still a sore spot.
Jesus.
Kevin Nash me paying $150 and Kevin Nash falling asleep in the middle of a fucking 30-second video. Fuck you. I did get because like I try not to let the because you kind of figured he wears the big blue, the American flag with the blue stripe, and he's a big Texas boy. Okay, but when his cameo opens up and he's just like, the votes are counted, and all the votes mattered. I'm like, oh no,
No.
don't get into this one. And
Yeah.
then yeah, it was just like, you're the best Undertaker fan in the past 30 years. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like, no, okay, okay. He took it around, but so, all right. Well, that was all I had written down. I mean, do you want to get in the comic book club or wait for V to get back?
um,
Oh yes, dead air. The fans love
part
this
yeah,
part.
exactly. Everybody loves all the dead air that we give. I'm amazed there hasn't been more of it, really.
Well, we've
I
done
think
pretty well for ourselves, just the two of us. I mean, usually whenever there's dead air, there's heavy breathing in the background that kind of saves us. But
it's or scratching. Um,
oh, shit,
uh,
you're just gonna fucking now we're gonna dead air the rest of the show because we mentioned it.
well, I think this is the first time we've actually spoken in years.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
And dead air.
And
And
dead
dead
air.
air. And
Let's do comic book club.
okay, we'll go through it.
Well, because like this is the first. So outside of like cameos of him in other comics, this is the first time I've read a Constantine book, and it's a little different than I was expecting, but yeah, I dug it.
Yeah. It's I hadn't read it before, but it was kind of good because it was when the New 52 started up, and it gave you a pretty good overall feel of all the past stuff, and it had a lot of the characters that are reoccurring. So it had Papa Midnight, which is a
Yeah.
staple Constantine character. It had Zatanna, which was nice to see too. It had even a one issue with Captain Marvel, Shazam, which is
Hmm.
interesting. I like that too. Um, it's Constantine is a fucking asshole. There's no two ways about it, and
Exactly. He's kind of like if there was an equivalent to him, because I wasn't really expecting this, where he was just like a foul mouth asshole Doctor Strange.
yeah. If Zach Winters ever got mystical powers, it would be Constantine and a
I
Cockney
don't smoke that
accent.
much.
Well, that much. But yeah, I mean, it's typical Constantine. It was a good start to the series,
Hmm.
and it, you know, did you ever watch the show?
I never watched the show.
Okay, the show's pretty close to the book right here that you read. It was the spark and the flame.
Just
So
him being a prick.
yeah, yeah, it was the first 6 issues of the New 52. I enjoyed it.
I found him weirdly relatable.
Yeah, oddly, isn't it? But yeah, he's like a greasy, shisty used car salesman.
I know.
He's
I
kind
kind of
of
dug
got
it.
that. And it's not something you see too much as a hero in comic books. It's almost like he doesn't fucking belong at the DC universe because of the way
Hmm.
you're used to seeing Superman and everything. So it's nice to have that kind of schemy, skeezy asshole and kind of like him. But
Hmm.
his old stuff's really good. I've liked Constantine for a while. The stuff that gets into his youth is actually pretty good. Like the big incident from his youth that basically made him the way he is. If you haven't read that stuff before, look into it. It's pretty good. All his engines and bad habits are two good storylines if you're interested in more Constantine.
Yeah, I'll probably be looking him up.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, that was that. I came up with, and I forgot it was my week to pick, so I kind of scrambled. I wanted to come up with something for Judge Dredd, but I couldn't come up with anything definitive enough to be like, yeah, let's read this. So it's one that we talked about. I don't know if you ever read it. You talked about wanting to read it, but Batman: The Last Night Ever.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll read that one because I haven't read it yet. We'll
I
let
haven't
Big
read it
V
yet either,
know.
so
Okay, good. We'll let V know, and then we'll get back to you guys next week if you want to read along. Batman: The Last Night on Earth, or last night is it Last Night on Earth or Last Night Ever?
I'm looking it up right
Double
now.
check. Double check. I'll keep talking like this so there's no dead air, so
So,
nobody gets all.
well, I just came across this
Uh,
story of like speaking of Batman. Hey, segue.
eh.
I just came across this where a 9.4 rated Batman #1 from the 40s just got it put up for auction.
Oh, jeez. How much do you think that's gonna go for?
Right
Millions.
now it's at 106 or not 100 $860,000.
Really? That's
Yeah.
kind of low. That's crazy,
Well,
especially for
the
that good of a
so
rating.
so the Superman the Action Comics #1 just went for like a little over $1 million.
Really?
Yeah.
That's okay. I thought they were going for more. I remember
That one was
Nicholas.
rated at a 10 too.
Wow. You don't ever see those.
This guy was just like cleaning out his grandma's attic and just found this perfectly preserved Action Comics #1.
Bullshit.
First
He
appearance of Superman.
he has a time machine. That's the only way you can. He went back in time when that shit was on the fucking shelves. He is dying for it, and then fucking came back to our time with it. That's insane. A fucking 10 rating.
Here's a nickel.
Yeah. I remember Nicolas Cage's collection was pretty big for a time. He
Last
paid
Night
a
on Earth, by the way.
last night, and it's Knight on Earth
Yep.
if anyone wants. It's Scott Snyder.
And
So,
bought.
and yes. All
Oh, it's
right.
on sale too.
Hey,
So that's
good. They
good.
got Black Friday ads for Comixology. Cha-ching, give us
It
some
must be
money.
because it's. It must be because it's only $7 from 20.
Hey, that's not bad. I'll let Big V know about this one so we can all be caught up for hopefully next week when he
Yeah.
returns.
Tell him how much we talked about Constantine without him here.
Yeah.
He'll be all butthurt.
He suggested he probably didn't read it. That son of a bitch.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. But all right. Well, anything else? I got nothing else written down here that I wanted to cover.
No, I think we got a full show today.
Yeah, it's pretty good time for just the two of us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, for wonderful Zach, winners.
Yeah.
And I'll just say this for Big V, who's with us in spirit. He's
Hold on,
still
hold on.
around. He's still alive, but there you go. Hey, for Big V.
R.I.P. Big V. He had explosive ass of diarrhea of the ass.
This is Darkness, and the asylum is closed.